Allow me to ask you one question. And I want you to be honest, not with me, but with yourself. When your salary comes in, how long does it last? Is it 5 days, 10 days, or before the month is over, you are already calculating and wondering which payment can wait, or whether you'll have enough fuel to get to work? Or maybe you've already borrowed from next month's salary just to survive this month. If that's you, stay with me, because today's conversation could change the way you think about money forever. My name is Swazi N, and this is Money Mastery Simplified. My mission is simple: to help you become so good with your money that you never have to worry about it. Not because you suddenly become rich, but because you finally learn how money works. So today we are talking about the debt cycle, what it is, how we get trapped in it, and more importantly, the first step towards breaking free from it. Because contrary to what many people believe, debt is rarely created by one bad decision. More often, it's built through hundreds of small decisions made without a framework. And let me explain. Recently, I started working with a client who they work for a well-known company, La eMzansi. Good salary, medical aid, benefits, the kind of job that most people would love to have. And from the outside, everything looked fine, right? But during our first coaching session, they shared something that they had never said out loud before. By the 5th of every month, their salary was gone. Not the 15th, not the 10th, but the 5th. And what actually made me sad, it wasn't because they weren't earning enough. The gentleman, the gentleman earns close to 50,000 a month. What shocked me wasn't how much debt he had, but it was how normal it had become. A store account here, a personal loan there, a credit card used to get through one difficult month, then another, and another month, until almost every rent that came into his account already had something else to do. I remember asking him, "So, how do you put fuel in your car?" He smiled, not because it was funny, but because he had accepted it as normal. He simply said, "I use my credit card." Think about that. You earn almost 50,000 a month, but you are borrowing money for petrol. That is sad. You are going to work just to earn money so you can pay back money you already spent. And that's what debt does. It doesn't just reduce your bank balance, it reduces your options. And then he said something I'll never forget. He said, "Swazi, I don't even feel I don't even feel like the father I should be anymore. When he's at work, he's thinking about money. When he's at home, he's thinking about work. His children are getting what's left over, not because he doesn't love them, but because his mind is exhausted." And I see this almost every week. When your mind is running financial calculations in the background every hour of every day, excellence becomes a luxury and survival becomes the option. In fact, the only option. And I hear it from people with different names, working at different companies, earning different salaries, but the story never changes. So the question then becomes, how did we get here? And there's no one telling you this. Most people don't end up trapped in debt because they're lazy, foolish, or because they are bad with money. Most of us end up here because nobody ever taught us how money actually works. Think about it. We spend 12 years in school. We learn mathematics, history, science, geography. And some of us go to university for another 3, 4, or even 5 years. Yet, many of us never receive a single lesson on how to manage a salary. Nobody teaches us how debt steals future income. Nobody teaches us how interest quietly turns yesterday's purchase into tomorrow's burden. Every debit order is a reminder that yesterday's decisions are still collecting from today's salary. But guess what? We get our first job, our first paycheck, and for the first time, we feel financially independent. So we buy expensive clothing, we finance a car, we open a store account, and we qualify for a credit card. Not because we are irresponsible, but because that's what everyone around us is doing. And because no one showed us another way, the monthly repayments look affordable. So we sign and commit to these debt traps. Then life happens. The car needs repairs. A child gets sick. School expenses arrive. A family member needs help. The fridge stops working. Life doesn't ask whether you've budgeted. It just happens. And because there's no strategic reserves, we borrow. At first, just one loan, then another, and another, until eventually your salary isn't yours anymore. It belongs to decisions that you've made months, sometimes years earlier. So the salary comes in, and before you've touched a single rand, the debit order begins. Loans, store accounts, insurance, subscriptions, and suddenly the money that looked like plenty now feels like almost nothing. Then another unexpected expense arrives. And because there's nothing left, we borrow again. Can you see the cycle? We borrow because we've got nothing left. And we've got nothing left because we borrow. Round and round it goes, month after month, year after year, until until something dangerous happens. It starts to feel normal. Stress becomes normal. Living from salary to salary becomes normal. Borrowing becomes normal. Feeling anxious every payday becomes normal. Think about this for a moment. Normal does not mean healthy. The fact that it's been this way for a long time doesn't mean it has to be this way forever. Just because you've lived this way for years, it doesn't mean this is how you have to live for the rest of your life. Okay, so this is the part that most financial conversations completely miss. The biggest prison isn't debt, it's shame, ihlazo. Because shame convinces us to hide. It tells us not to look at the bank balance, not to answer the phone, not to open the email, not to add up everything we owe. Because somehow not knowing feels less painful than knowing. And trust me, I've seen that look on too many faces. I've watched grown men lower their heads because they felt they had failed their families. I've watched mothers cry because they believed they'll never get out. And if that's where you find yourself, I need you to hear me very carefully. You may not be responsible for where you started. You may not have been taught how money works, but from this moment forward, you are responsible for where you go. And that's not me judging you, that's me giving you hope. Because responsibility means you still have power, you still have choices, you still have a future. And that's the reason why I developed what I call the money mastery pathway. It's a 3-phase framework designed to help ordinary people take control of their money and build lasting financial stewardship. Because people don't need another motivational speech, they need a pathway, a clear next step, a system they can follow. And this is what surprises most people. The money mastery pathway doesn't begin with debt. It doesn't even begin with budgeting. It begins with you. Phase 1 is called the value foundation because Before we touch a single rand, we have to understand the person managing the rand, your beliefs, your habits, your relationships with money, your understanding of stewardship. Because I've discovered something remarkable. When people begin to understand who they are in Christ, their relationship with money begins to change. Not overnight, but consistently. Stewardship always flows from identity. So, where do we begin? Not next month, not when you get a better job, not when you receive a bonus. We begin today. And the first step may be the hardest step of all of them. I want you to set aside time this week. Turn off the TV, put your phone away, find a quiet place, then write down every single debt that you have, every store account, every personal loan, every credit card, every amount you owe to family, every amount you owe to your friends. Write it all down. And it's not to condemn yourself, not to make yourself feel maybe worse, but because you cannot change what you refuse to face. In fact, let me tell you something that might surprise you. Most people think their financial breakthrough is paying off debt. It actually isn't. Their first breakthrough is finally facing the truth, because you cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to identify. I remember one client listing the people they owed. they said, I owe Peter 4,500 rand. I owe Paul 10,000. And so as I was writing, I smiled and said, that's not as bad as I expected. Then they laughed and said, no, Swazi, those are just the monthly installments. And at that moment, we both realized something. They knew what they paid every month, but they had never added up what they actually owed totally. And that's how many of us live. We deal with today's payments without ever looking at tomorrow's freedom. So when you add up everything together, and perhaps the number scares you, I don't want your first words to be, I've ruined my life. I want them to be, this is my starting point, not my life sentence. Because every journey begins by knowing exactly where you are. Before I leave today, I want to come back to the gentleman I mentioned at the beginning, the one using a credit card just to fill up his tank. If you saw yourself anywhere in his story, I want you to know something. There is hope. Proverbs 13:12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Maybe debt has left your heart sick. Maybe you've carried this burden for so long that you've stopped believing things can change. Maybe you've convinced yourself that this is simply how life is going to be. But it doesn't have to stay that way, because hope begins to return the moment you can finally see a way forward. And change becomes possible the moment you stop avoiding the truth and start facing it. One decision at a time, 1 month at a time, one step at a time. Yes, the debt cycle is real. The shame, yeah, is real. The exhaustion is also real, but so is the way out. And many people don't begin to change until they reach the end of themselves. I want to leave you with this quote. Only when you come to the end of yourself can you find the beginning of God. So there's a reason that this quote opens the first chapter of my book. It has stayed with me for years. If today's conversation has helped you, I would like to invite you on this journey. Subscribe to this channel. Every Tuesday, we'll unpack another lesson from the Money Mastery Pathway. And every Sunday, we'll have our phone-in session where we work through real money situations from real people. Because you don't have to walk this journey alone. Remember, the goal isn't to simply get out of debt. The goal is to become the kind of person who never needs debt to survive again. Because when you change the person, the person's decisions change, and when the decisions change, the future changes. My name is Swazi N. This is Money Mastery Simplified. My mission is simple: to help you become so good with your money that you never have to worry about it again. Walk at the speed of cash. Stay blessed and led by Yeshua, the Prince of Peace. Shalom.